Today we're going to field your questions, and I'm going to think about love and compassion. Compassion. We have to have compassion for ourselves first. Our souls have components that components from the one. Love, compassion, peace, wisdom, and joy. Those we're going to take from God, and they are in every one of us. In every one of us. Okay, I think we're ready for the questions.
Ramdas, we actually had, in addition to questions, people with some requests. And one of the requests was for you to comment on this quote from His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama. And the quote is, "If you don't love yourself, you cannot love others. You will not be able to love others. If you have no compassion for yourself, then you are not capable of developing compassion for others."
Well, compassion and love are in ourselves, and you you are a soul, and then you can see other people as souls. And you love them, and have compassion for them. But I say before, you have love and compassion for yourself first. Would you repeat that question?
Yes, it was the request was for you to comment on the quote from His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. The quote was, "If you don't love yourself, you cannot love others. You will not be able to love others. If you have no compassion for yourself, then you are not capable of developing compassion for others."
I think I've said it.
Wonderful. Let's stick with some questions around compassion. And the first one would be, how can we develop compassion? And in your estimation, what are the qualities of true compassion?
Well, compassion is, as for love, bubble up from oneness. For example, if I sit bedside somebody's dying, I will have compassion for that person when I am that person. And compassion means that I'm inside that person. Yeah. Before Oh, that's pretty good. It's a oneness and coming out of the oneness.
Hmm.
Did I answer it?
We'll take that. So let's move then from the oneness to like one, in that how can the cultivation of compassion move us to be less self-centered?
Well, compassion and those other factors of the soul lead to our identification with the universe or the universes. With towards all things. And towards God. Towards God. So compassion, you want to, for the self, when you're already having compassion, is the soul. And the self is such a little thing, and compared to the universe. So, when they're dealing with compassion, I can feel compassion for another soul because of their incarnation is terrible. And I guess I can't deal with it myself. Myself. Is it terrible? No. But I have terrible days and terrible nights and terrible things. They're getting caught in your mind. And that's terrible. And that's what That's why I feel so compassion for this little entity. Yeah.
Thank you. That's wonderful. There was a request in regards to what you just spoke to about your day-to-day living, and how do you do it in holding Maharaji's presence in your day-to-day, even when it's a terrible, you're getting caught up in your mind on having a bad day, and how do you keep awareness throughout your day?
Well, I wake up with Maharaji, and I stay with Maharaji all the time. All the time. And Maharaji love, compassion, peace, wisdom. Joy. That's Maharaji. That's Maharaji. What I did for many years, I said that Maharaji was a friend a friend, and he was with me as day-to-day life. But now I inhabit the consciousness, the plane of consciousness where he is in me. He is me. So I talk to him most of the time inside. I don't, any things, India, not several, yeah. It's the Atman in Hinduism, in which God, Guru, and self are connected. And that's the true self. And the ego here is who we think we are. And down here is who we really are.
What would you say, Ramdas, to somebody who still feels a need to have a physical form, to have a guru experience? There was a question from an individual who feels as if they get some of it when they're with satsang, or they get some of it when they see the image of Maharaji, but they feel like there's still this need to have a physical connection with a guru in form. What would you say to that?
I think the people who have the souls who have dreams or visions of Maharaji, they're just as they're realizing Maharaji's uh, essence. And I've noticed that the people that were with Maharaji don't have anything these other people that they have. What, you know, they're
Same.
same. And you know, in India, they say, don't look for the guru. The guru looks for you. And these people who this person is, like this person, who wants to find a guru, that's just attachment to a melodrama. Boy.
There was a question specifically about Maharaji. And the question came from an interest in an economic interest. And there was the person was curious to know that since Maharaji was kind of like a village leader, did he do things within the structure of that village that gave more opportunities to the poor, or did something for the poor?
From all I've heard, that his father's village was very poor, very poor. And I think that and when Maharaji took over from his father, he did all the things a landowner does, which will benefit for the poor. Yeah. So if I say Maharaji says, feed people, and we don't resonate with that. But in India, many people are hungry. Yeah. So in India, he can't interact with people without benefiting the poor. Yeah.
Hey, the same person also had a question in regards to Maharaji's influence on Dada Mukherjee, specific to economics, because as we know, Dada was a teacher, was an economics teacher in the education system there, and just curious how Dada's view on economic systems and justice might have changed as their relationship grew.
Well, first of all, in the academics, he turned to books, and then he turned to Maharaji. And Maharaji has wisdom, and books have knowledge. So Dada enriched his heart through Maharaji. Dada he wanted nothing but to serve Maharaji, like Hanuman does for Ram. And his whole life changed. His whole life changed. He was he was a social activist, and from Maharaji's viewpoint, there is more to social action. There is the heart that comes from God. In the social action that Maharaji faced, and I think that Maharaji's statement, he said, all the money in the world is mine. I don't think God would have found that in any book. Yeah.
come back to compassion for a moment. Because Maharaji always seemed to be very patient, and you speak about the stories of unconditional love that you felt from Maharaji. So, for each of us, how do we trigger compassion for ourselves when we indulge in judging our slip-ups?
Would you repeat that question?
Okay. How do we trigger compassion for ourselves when we indulge in judging our own slip-ups?
Well, judging is a slip-up, so.
Let's say that I'm very critical of myself, but I should be more compassionate for myself.
I think the witness is going to be in the soul. In the soul is the witness. The witness judges. No, the witness witnesses the incarnation and the thoughts that come, and thoughts of judging, thoughts of judging. Judging yourself.
What would you say to a woman who has an aging husband who's much older than she is, and she loves him dearly, but she's beginning to lose her patience and then feels bad about it later, and so how would she trigger compassion for herself as she's judging her slip-ups and attending to her aging husband?
Identification with the witness or the soul. And I'm sure she's witnessing that self-loathing. And I don't want to use my mind to beat my mind. I want to use my heart to beat my mind, but I don't want to damage my heart. So if I self-loathing, I love it to death.
Well, in that regard, because there were several questions about that were around caregiving, And you're like an excellent example for someone to learn from about how to, become a good care provider. So, using yourself as an example, share what it is like to need care providers, and what are the qualities that you respect the most, or that you find most useful for yourself as someone dependent on care and services.
Well, useful, because the most useful thing is to be aware of one's personality. If you're a patient and you're aware of you're aware of asking for somebody to trivial, little trivial things like I want to I wanted to get out of bed, and I'm going to go to my chair. And usually I would just do it. But now I have to call somebody who might be busy with somebody else, and I think of these things in me to was I getting to my chair worth it? And then I see my caretakers as souls. I don't see them in terms of role. I see them as souls. And therefore, we really mirror each other for soul to soul, soul to soul. And when my caretakers are varied, and I have personality issues with each of them. Not issues, not terrible things, but but I'm working on myself. That's my thing. I'm not working on them. I'm working on myself. Yeah. And so that the little personality things, they they're that clutter our relationship of soul to soul. And their roles are very carefully defined. And my role to care as patient as carefully defined. Yeah. And it's it's when we all when we all uh, we all do our roles perfectly, then we don't have to bother with them because we're perfect. Yeah. This question puts me into the role of patient because, and in the past, I've the role of helper, which was an incredible power role. I can um, the book with Paul Gorman.
Yeah. How can I help?
How can I help? Yeah. That book has roles and to play impeccably. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's a wonderful sharing. Thank you. If you'd be willing to lead us through a meditation for this New Year's webcast.
Attend to your breath. In, out, in, out, or else up, down, something like that. Attending to your breath. All the world disappears. All the breath is all there is. Breath is spirit. and the compassion from within. Breathe out. Breathe out compassion. Compassion to all the things and people around you. And then breathe in the compassion of the environment for you. Compassion for you. Compassion for you. Breathe in and out. In and out of compassion. In and out. Love. Peace. Out from your peace in your heart. That will enrich the society with peace. Nature has peace. Breathe in nature. And the wisdom in you. Share. Share. Share to the world. With the out breath. the wisdom of nature. In-breath. And joy. 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 Spread joy. The out breath. Bring in joy. In-breath. This is the end of this meditation. But you will not end your breath. Therefore, will love spread, love accepted. Compassion spread. The universe has compassion for you. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. In and out. all the components of the soul. From now on, with each breath, with each breath. Namaste. And I guess I should say Happy New Year.